It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
You know what time it is. That's right. It is Friday, April 21st, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. WoodwardSports.com, Woodward Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in. We'll save the pleasantries. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Mike Gentry in for Fletch, and we got JB back in the audio booth. Welcome in. Big sports day. Braylon Edwards, big Detroit Lions news. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I had the glasses on for the fake effect of 420 still being on me. It is not. Today is booming in Detroit. You know why. So Ryan Ermanni, like you said, let's get down to business.
This is not the way we wanted to start the show, but at about 11:30 in the morning on Friday afternoon, earlier today, it was announced that the NFL, due to an investigation, has found that 4 Lions players violated the league's policy on gambling. Quintez Cephas and CJ Moore have both been suspended indefinitely by the NFL. They can apply for reinstatement in a year, but the Detroit Lions said thank you, but no thank you. They have been released outright. They gambled on the NFL. Jameson Williams and Stanley Berryhill have both been suspended for 6 games for gambling violations. That includes betting from an NFL facility on non-NFL games, and both can take part in the off-season workouts. Both can play in the preseason, but once the season starts, they can no longer be anywhere near the facility. They can apply to get back in the facility after 3 weeks to work out on their own, but not with the team. Braylon Edwards, we talked so much about Jameson Williams, and the guy here that everybody is talking about, the guy that is at the front and center of this, is the wide receiver from Alabama, the 12th overall pick in last year's draft, Jameson Williams. This is not something you wanted to hear today.
No, it's not.
Or any day, for that matter.
No, you're absolutely right. But we have to really start here, Ryan. You know, the great thing about being in media, the great thing about being an analyst, being a reporter, being on radio, is the fact that you have an opinion. And sometimes people use their opinions to pay a little more close attention to a situation. In this instance, Ryan, you've been paying close attention to Brad Holmes and how he's responded to Jameson Williams for the better part since January, since February. You even yesterday, you hit on it. We talked about when he said, you know what, he was here. You said it didn't sit right with you. The conversation, how he was responding to Jameson, he really wasn't shutting down things, almost as if something was there. I disagree with your point yesterday. I disagree with your point, you and Maz's point for the last 3 months. Well, I'm here to tell you, I apologize because you were absolutely right. There was something there with Jameson Williams and Detroit Lions. The way I look at it, it's a couple different ways in which you can go about it. One, he broke the rules. He violated the rules. So he needs to be punished. He's accepted his fault in that so far, so he will be suspended 6 games. But at the end of the day, let's not rush to judgment because right now everybody wants to punish Jameson Williams and say, trade him, cut him. I'm definitely not on that tender.
Tom,
yeah, can I just say something?
Please.
I'm okay. I'm not a dummy here. But I'm glad it's just this than anything else, that he was lazy, that his knee was injured again,
good call.
All of that. Because this kid made a mistake. He's probably on the Allen Park property in his car, and he bet a game, a college basketball game, I think. And one of the rules in the NFL is you can't do any of that kind of stuff on NFL property, the plane, anywhere. So I think he made a mistake that a kid makes. And I know you guys are laying the rules out, and we'll go over all the rules with you guys. But I'm kind of – look, it's 6 games. We missed them last year for what, 8, 9 games? They're going to be fine. They might even be better. And what I mean by that is maybe it makes them draft a wide receiver somewhere in this draft, and maybe it just helps your team down the line somewhere. Maybe you find a gem.
We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. I wanted to get to Brad Holmes' statement. Here's the quote. As a result of an NFL investigation, it came to our attention that a few of our players had violated the league's gambling policy. These players exhibited decision-making that is not consistent with our organizational values and violates league rules. We have made the decision to part ways with Quintez and CJ immediately. We are disappointed by the decision-making demonstrated by Stanley and Jameson, and will work with both both players to ensure they understand the severity of these violations and have clarity on the league's rules moving forward. Jameson Williams representatives from Alliance Sports, they came out with a statement and confirmed that their client, Jameson Williams, has been suspended by the NFL for 6 games for violating the NFL's gambling policy. Jameson takes full responsibility for his actions and is very apologetic to the NFL, his teammates, and the fans of the city of Detroit. However, gotta get the however, it is important to note that Jameson's violation was not for betting on football, but rather due to a technical rule regarding the actual location in which the online bet was placed and which would otherwise be allowed by an NFL player outside of the club's facility.
How easy is it to put a bet in?
And
it's the easiest thing in the world to put a bet in.
And hearing while I said I'm conflicted about the situation, Ryan and Maz, about the situation. I'm conflicted because, like you said, he violated. He deserves the time, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, Jameson Williams was 0.2 miles away from making a legal bet. So technically, NFL rules, he's allowed to bet on anything outside the NFL as long as he's not on the property. So he's 0.2 miles away from making a legal bet that has no bearing on his suspension. His $332,000 is calculated up that he'll miss out on for those 6 games. It's technically legal. So the way I want to look at it is, a player knows that there's a potential to lose this amount of money for making a bet at that facility, then it doesn't seem like a player that understands money, if anything, will make a bet like that. So my problem with that is this. Clarity is one of the things that just came up, Ryan. I think the NFL needs to do a much better job at clarifying the rules on what you can do, what you cannot do, and where you can do it. It's easy for them to sit up here and tell us what the rule book states, but was the rule book really enforced? Did somebody really come down and break it down to that extent so that Jameson Williams and other players around the NFL know that they cannot bet on the NFL, they cannot bet here, now this is what they can and cannot do? Because it just seems funny to me that someone would make a decision like that knowing the ramifications.
I was on the set on Fox 2 earlier this morning, anchoring the news, when Dan Miller broke the story, and one of the things that he said was these guys are coached on this all the time. It is embedded in their minds what they can do as far as gambling and what they can't do. So I sit here and look, everybody in the chat is being much nicer to me today than they were yesterday.
Yeah. Tell them what they can do with that.
And look, I have my opinions. I looked into the situation, and I saw a general manager consistently over the last couple of months that has not been happy with this player, Jameson Williams. That's just the way I saw it. And to be honest with you, I didn't have to wait 12 hours to be right. This is what I said yesterday about this. Let me play it for you. So it was asked to Brett Holmes today, where's Jameson Williams? Do you have that mic or not? He seems to be not here. And even though it's voluntary, he seems to be one of the guys that's not here. And Brad Holmes simply said he was here yesterday. So it was asked to Brett Holmes today, where's Jameson Williams? He seems to be not here. And even though it's voluntary, he seems to be one of the guys that's not here. And Brad Holmes simply said he was here yesterday. And that's it. Not like I'm asking you if, hey, remember a couple of months ago you said that Jameson Williams had to put in the work and then he's not here today. If he was doing, this is Ryan Ermanni talking now, if he was doing all of the things that you believe he needs to do, wouldn't you shut that down right now? Wouldn't you shut that down right now and say, look, he's not here. It's voluntary. He's putting the work in. He's doing everything we asked. He simply looked at the reporter. I don't remember who the reporter was, and said he was here yesterday and moved on. I don't think, look, we get paid to give our opinions. That does not seem to be a player that the organization is happy with, in my opinion. And look, I mean, I want to make it clear, too, that I had zero information about this before 10:30 this morning. I found out about it about 10:30 this morning, and they went to air with it at 11:30. And I just think one of the problems we all do all of us collectively, is we do not demand accountability anymore. Well, it was a technicality on a rule. It's okay. It's legal. Oh, gambling is married to the NFL. The NFL is married to gambling. This is a grown man to whom much is given, much is expected. And the track record here has not been a good one. And I don't know anything about the injury, but it did not appear, at least on the field last year, he had a couple of great plays, yes, but this seems like an immature player. And I hope, it is my God's honest hope, that somebody, maybe Marvin Jones, maybe Antoine Randall L., maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown, whoever, Calvin Johnson, bring Calvin in. This seems like a very immature player. The rules are what they are, and you can hate the rules. But there's a 22-year-old kid who makes $6 million or whatever he lost. There was that news today, too. He needs to grow up here. He needs to grow up, and if he doesn't know the rules, ask. They traded up to get this player, the 12th overall draft pick in last year's draft. He has given this team nothing. And it's time for him to grow up and play football for the Detroit Lions. I totally disagree with you, Maz. This is a huge deal. This is a superstar caliber player. He might be the most talented player on the roster. And it feels eerily similar. Forgive me. It feels eerily similar to Charles Rodgers. Eerily similar.
I think you're going a little overboard. At the end of the day, you say he's an immature player. What has he done outside of this betting to be immature? The fact that the Lions chose to sit him out for the better part of the early part of the season, is that on him, or is that on Dan Campbell and how they wanted to bring him along? Is that on him that Dan Campbell, once they brought him along, said they were going to put him on special teams? The dumbest I've ever heard in my life. So, like, is it him that was completely being immature? Or is it him that made a mistake? He's a young kid. It is what it is. He's being punished for his mistake. Like I said, he should be. I agree with you 100%. He definitely has to learn from it. Look, I don't know how the rules are scripted. I don't know when this was. I don't know if he was betting on an Alabama bowl game. I don't know if this was during this season when he was betting on March Madness. I don't know when that was. The rules are the rules, so he will be punished. We don't need to make much more about this than it is, 100%. I believe that Jameson Williams will be fine. This is one instance. I believe this will be a breakout year. Look at how the Lions are still set up to be slated. They were still going to pick another wide receiver up in the offseason and still potentially draft one. We talked about them drafting a wide receiver. We talked about them drafting a wide receiver even before we knew anything about this. So I think the Lions are still in good situation. I think Jameson Williams is still in good situation. This is a good learning situation for him. And I think when he comes back, he'll be a better player for it.
More on this next, but first a message from Alta.
All right, guys, at Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, give Alta Rental a call. Do it today. 844, go to Alta. 844, the number 2. First, go the number 2, Alta.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, welcome back, woodwardsports.com. I did want to
malfunction.
I did want to make this clear as well. This is kind of a big deal. There were several members of the Detroit Lions staff who have recently been let go as well for gambling for the same situations. Ari Meirov, our good friend, said that earlier today or tweeted that out. I mean, this seems to have been an organizational failure as well.
And that's where I go, like, that's why I want to find out when exactly was this. Not that it would matter, Ryan, in terms of to the rules, but to what was this Final Four where people around the facility hanging out? Was Jamo here rehabbing, and there's a couple people from HR up there? And like, what was going on? What were the circumstances surrounding the situation? Because if I'm sitting here betting on the Final Four, and I'm betting with people upstairs in the front office, or you know what I'm saying, people that are also a member of the Lions franchise. Now is where you get a little confused. You know,
Maz, I was talking to Neil Rule earlier, and I don't know if you were in there or not. And he said, "Well, what were you doing when you were 22?" It's not the same. Nobody gave me millions of dollars. Nobody counted on me in an organization. The benefit of a position coach, a head coach, a defensive coordinator, a general manager, a mentor. He's got all of those things. And who is this Alliance Sports? Seriously, this Alliance Sports statement? This Alliance Sports statement. The NFL suspended for 6 games. Jameson takes full responsibility for his actions and is very apologetic to the NFL, his teammates, and the fans of the city of Detroit. Stop. Full stop. Just stop there. They continue. However, it's important to note that the violation was a technicality. I mean, come on, man. You are letting him off the hook. Somebody get in front of his face and tell him to grow up.
Ryan,
there's some Instagram stories out. I mean, it's not looking good for me.
Okay, Ryan, I understand that. But please understand, no one gave you millions of dollars at 22, so you can't insert yourself in his shoes and say what you would have done, what you would not have done, what would have made sense to you. And you know what? I know that I can wreck this. 22 years old, getting the money that he's making, that doesn't cover up for the 21 years of you growing up before that. That doesn't cover up for the kids, the friends that you have growing up for that, the way in which your mind already works, the way in which you see Instagram or certain things in social media. You're a part of that era. You can't just turn that off all of a sudden because somebody gives you a certain amount of money and now all of a sudden you're expected to go from a kid in college to a grown man paying taxes and worrying about life insurance policies. This could have simply been a mistake. It is simply one that could have been a mistake. And then to the Alliance report, was it illegal outside the building? Is it something that's not? Is it something?
Yes, it is legal. If he was at home, he could have bet on the game. But he can't do it in the facility, and every NFL player knows that.
What if he doesn't know that What if he doesn't know that parking lot is considered the facility? What if he doesn't know that sitting in his car in the parking lot when it's the off season or when it's an off day, he doesn't know that that's not considered the facility because he didn't walk in between there and make the bet, or he was in the car when he made the bet.
Well, we don't know. We don't know that.
Exactly. So don't say
it was at the facility.
Well, don't say at 22 years old he has a coach at this and he has that. It still doesn't matter. He's still a kid.
It sounds like an awful lot of excuses.
It sounds like you've never been in his situation.
No, I haven't.
So then don't put yourself. Don't self-impose.
But I can sure tell you that Jameson Williams is not giving the Detroit Lions anything, and has not given this football team anything.
They said that they were going to bring him along slowly. Yeah. He didn't say, "Hey, yeah, I won't be ready until December." Right. Jameson Williams never said that. Dan Campbell did.
Fine.
And then Antoine Randall did. And then Ben Johnson
and
did.
And that's fine. I just the fact is that he has not given this football team anything on the field.
As far as that statement goes, finish reading it for me.
However, it is important to note that Jameson's violation was not betting on football, but rather due to a technical rule regarding the actual location in which the online bet was placed, in which would otherwise be allowed by the NFL outside the club's facility.
The reason they wrote that is they don't want you to right away think, why is he only getting 6 months when 6 games when Calvin Ridley got a year? Calvin Ridley sat on his couch and he bet on football.
Bet in the NFL.
Yeah, he bet on football. This kid's not betting on football.
I remember 2 guys, and make it 3 guys, that when Calvin Ridley's suspension came down last year, you was like, I can't believe they would do that to the kid. That's far too long. And that kid bet on his own team. This is a kid that didn't even bet on his sport. And you're saying it's oh my God, a kid shouldn't do that. Well, if I was this kid, I wouldn't do that because I have this backing. You had Calvin Ridley's back when he bet on the Atlanta Falcons. But now you're sitting here telling me that, no, it's not a mistake. He's immature because he bet at the Lions facility, maybe in the parking lot, on something that wasn't the NFL.
The more information you have about something, the better informed your decision about it can be. And I think last year it was still so new for this marriage between the NFL and gambling sites. And I don't think that you can shy away from that. The NFL is in bed with all of these gambling sites.
Yeah, they're hypocrites.
And a year later, more than a year into it now, I think these players, at least from what I've been told, are coached constantly on the rules, what they can do and what they cannot do. And again, yes, if you want to say I'm going too far, fine. I am extremely frustrated that I've been a Lions fan for 44 freaking years, and they are finally on the cusp of a world championship. Yes, I said it. And this pisses me off as a fan. It absolutely does. It takes away all the good that we are talking about now, and you move forward and you say, is this something that they will completely change their draft strategy on? And we can talk about that coming up. You know, if they were planning on defense at 6 and maybe Bijan at 18, now do they have to go reach for a defensive player, somebody at 6, and then pick a wide receiver at 18? I am pissed.
Ryan.
Yes,
Ryan,
I am upset.
Ryan, he is one player that when he played last year, he didn't do very much for them to be 8-2. They were 8-2, and he didn't even do that much. Don't act like the team's chemistry and the team structure is about to shake to the knees.
He hasn't done anything yet.
Thank you. Don't make it seem like the team structure is going to shake to the core and they're going to revert backwards for one player who wasn't a premier player on offense last year. Let's take a step back and know that the Lions are still in a damn good place, my guy. They're still in a great place, and we don't even know how this will play out because if I'm correct, I think this is the first time an NFL player has bet in-house on something that wasn't the NFL. He appeals and goes from 6 games to 3 games. Last time I checked, there are 17 games now in an NFL season. Relax, Ryan. The Detroit Lions will be just fine. Yes, it should piss you off, but I don't think it should piss you off to the tune of, like thinking that badly about him. It should piss you off.
Don't get your season tickets back. You keep those season tickets.
It's not about that. It's very frustrating. Let me say something. Listen, it's very frustrating.
You can be frustrated, but the NFL is the bad guy here. The NFL is the villain here. First of all, half the penalties and rules that they have are garbage. What is a catch? What isn't a catch? We all know what a freaking catch is, okay? If the kid's betting on college basketball in March Madness, I don't give a damn if he's on the freaking weight bench. If he is on the bicycle, I don't give a damn. He ain't betting the NFL. He is betting like every other person in the world that likes sports. We get on our phone and we bet. We bet the Bucks and we bet the Warriors, just like I told you. That's what he got. He listened to me, and he probably bet on Princeton to win the damn game in March Madness. That's bullshit. It's bull.
Here's a good question.
It's bull.
Here's a good question. All right, let's play. Maz, you and I are on the same team. Let's play devil's advocate. Okay, let's say that the NFL is saying this, or they want this to be a rule because they know that it's a slippery slope. Hell, if you sit at the facility, you're bored, and you bet on a college game, what's to stop you from betting on an NFL game? You bet on an NFL game, and you're at the facility. Well, who's to say you didn't give insider information? Blah blah blah. So okay, I get all that. But with Jameson Williams, with this rule, with the whole 9 yards, I forgot what my point was. Maz was on the tangent.
Sorry.
He was on the tangent.
I can keep going.
Keep going. I jump back in.
Let me say
They're
this.
just the biggest hypocrites
I understand
of all
that.
the sports.
And let's blame everybody but Jamo here. Let's
crying
blame
out
everybody but Jamo.
I guarantee he was in the parking lot. He's probably on the Wi-Fi.
You can't say that because you don't know.
Okay, I got it. I figured out what I had to say. Okay. If betting for players in franchises, in the NFL, if it's such a slippery slope, if it's we don't want you to do it at all, you know the type of money that the NFL teams have? Do you know the type of technology that they have access to? Do you know how easily they could shut down all betting apps in the facility? If you really cared about betting that much, since players as well as employees of the Detroit Lions can be penalized, if you care that much, then why not have a firewall that shuts down Caesars, that shuts down FanDuel, that shuts down MGM? Because if nobody at this facility can use it anyway, then what's the use of having these sports bet if it's that serious?
Here's my thing.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's just
if it's that serious.
Look. Let's blame everybody else.
But the kid's betting March Madness, Ryan.
But the kid can't play
and those
for
coaches
me.
And
the kid can't play. What if the Lions start 1-5?
How many times do you guys blame referees for like stuff like that?
What if they
you
start
always blame
1-5?
I'll be pissed.
Okay.
But they're not gonna.
Let me, again, one of the reasons why I compare him potentially to Charles Rogers, and this is where I want to go with the comparison. Charles Rogers, when you don't have something in your life, and I make reference to it with COVID a lot, and hear me out. If you get used to not doing something for a long period of time, you get used to not doing it. And I think Charles Rogers, when he had 2 years off of not playing football, and they were back-to-back collarbone injuries, you start to do other things that maybe don't work out. You fall out of love with the game, perhaps. And I think that happened to Charles Rogers. I don't want that to happen to Jameson Williams. He went 1 whole year without playing football, and now he's going to go another half a year without playing football. And I think when you don't do something, you get used to not doing something. Does that make any sense whatsoever?
It makes 100%. You basically find something to occupy your time.
Yes.
And sometimes that thing to occupy your mind is not something positive.
Yes.
I understand 100%.
Thank you.
100%.
You said it way better than I did.
You're absolutely correct, though. You do sometimes occupy your life. Look, the idle mind is the devil's playground. We've heard that for a very long time, and it's damn sure true. Rest in peace to Chuck. I knew Chuck a very long time. When he was here with Detroit, his biggest issue was being too close to home because Charles Rogers had an entourage of 80 people. And when Charles isn't playing, they're always going out and partying. I was a part of it at times when I was off from school. But he's always doing that. So I understand what you're saying about when you have time. I just simply still think this is an isolated incident. Everybody is interested in betting. People are like, you're talking about individuals that have millions upon millions, or they will soon have even more, millions upon millions. It's a thing to be bored. Kid made a mistake. He's about to get penalized for his mistake to the tune of $300K, more than $300K. I'm pretty sure that's enough for him to never do that again. And I think he might be able to appeal that, get that down to 3 games, 150.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Can I read some of these stupid rules?
Sure.
All right, these are the NFL.
Let's keep blaming everybody but Jamo.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's go.
These are the stupid NFL rules.
Blame the NFL rules.
Yeah, let's go into it. Here you go, guys.
Blame the NFL rules, man.
Here we go.
He's an overtime guy.
All NFL personnel are banned from gambling on any sport, which is defined by 3 subjects, including prize, chance, or consideration.
Great. Okay,
so gambling.
Very good.
Whether wagers are sportsbook or in private, they violate the policy. All NFL part and full-time employees are banned from fixing games or trading inside information, including injury updates and personnel decisions. Here we go. During the season, the NFL personnel must not enter a sports book.
Oh, okay.
He didn't go to a sports book.
No, he didn't.
NFL personnel is not allowed to promote or endorse anything
great radio.
involving gambling. Really?
Yeah.
I see them all on TV.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
They're promoting gambling.
Keep blaming everybody but Jamo.
Okay.
Blame the rules.
NFL personnel may not take any gifts.
You are being difficult.
You can't take any gifts if the value of the gift exceeds $250.
See Greg Williams.
NFL personnel are not allowed to participate in daily fantasy football
Is he
leagues.
NFL
What a
personnel?
crock!
Is he NFL personnel?
Fantasy football.
Oh.
See, this is why I also want to
He
know.
can't play himself?
And here it is. Any NFL employee who incurs a gambling debt of more than $10,000 must notify the NFL security department.
Here's another reason why I asked the question: when was this? Like, was this during this? Like, this is what we need to know. Was it during the season? Was it during off-season, March Madness? Was it blah blah blah? And the reason why I ask you is because this is his first year. This is his rookie year in the NFL. I keep making excuses. It's his rookie year in the NFL. When you're in season, the facility and everybody there looks much different than the offseason. When you're there in the regular season, everybody's there. The thing is popping. The thing is rolling. But when you're not there, it's no players there. It's a couple people. It's a skeleton training crew. Maybe he was confused on during season and out of season.
Can you guys tell me, and hold this for the break, can you guys tell me that when he comes back week 7, that he's going to be totally a great player and it's all smooth sailing from here? Is he going to be that guy? please feel free. And
Easy
what do the
answer.
Lions do in the draft? But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men.
be healthier.
Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, one for your girlfriend, one for your best bud, whoever you want to give it to. Maybe it's your kid. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Maybe it's Maz's kid. Maybe Maz wants to give his daughter Maddie, who's 16 years old
Maddie.
today, happy birthday car. That's right, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
You've heard of Gordon Ramsay. You've heard of Bobby Flay. But Thursday night Master Chef Brad Holmes will be in the kitchen with all of the ingredients needed to make a great dish on draft night. Join Woodward Sports for our 3rd annual Woodward Sports Draft Party, live at 5th Avenue in Royal Oak. The past 2 years, these parties have been standing room only, so get your tickets early at eventbrite.com. Don't miss out on all the fun with Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, and the entire Woodward Sports crew. The party starts at 7:30 p.m. Don't miss the biggest draft party in the Motor City, brought to you by the biggest network, Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
WoodwardSports.com. That's right. If you're watching on YouTube, about 1,000 live viewers right now. Go ahead and hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to over 150 likes by the end of this segment. We appreciate all of you. Subscribe to WoodwardSports.com, Woodward Sports on Twitter. If you can't watch live, download our podcast. Leave a 5-star review. Available anywhere podcasts are found. I asked you a question. I'll let you have the answer. Guys, are you positive? Is there any doubt in your minds that Jameson Williams will be the player that you thought he was when they drafted him 1 year ago?
No, like absolutely, he'll still be that player and he'll be better. He's healthy, he's angry, and now he's coming. He'll be coming for everybody that had something to say about him. Look, you look at it now. He got injured in a national championship game almost over 2 years ago, and now he's had the chance to fully recover. And this extra 6 games, this will give him more chance, man, to recover. I think he'll be healed. I think he'll be pissed. And I think he'll come out and show everybody like what he's about. He'll show why Brad Holmes moved up 20 picks to draft him at number 12. Everybody that we saw in those national championship games over the years, man, they tend to ball out, especially when you look at Alabama, you look at Georgia, LSU that season with Joe Burrow. Those players don't let you down in the NFL. Those players have all shown that they were worthy of those picks. And I think he will be, I know he'll be the next one to prove Brad Holmes right from 2 years ago. Well, last year.
I've always been nervous about the pick. I've made no qualms about getting an injured player.
At least he's healthy now.
He is going to be extra healthy. And when we did see him last year a couple of times, he was waiting for Jared Goff's ball, but he got that touchdown. Anyway, he did score a touchdown. He looked good on the runs. I am nervous because back in January when we heard Brad Holmes say, he's got to put the work in, it gave me some thoughts of maybe this kid ain't all in. But now I really believe that this will change his mindset to what Braylon said. And I think he will be a mean, lean, fighting machine coming back in game number 7. Who are they playing in game 7 yet? We don't have the schedule yet. Hopefully it's one of these division teams, and he breaks out for a 3-touchdown game. I do believe it's going to only help him go forward here and become the superstar we all hope he can be.
Hear me out on this. Tell me, guys, this doesn't sound like it makes sense. I feel like actually it makes too much sense when I say it out loud. The way you hurt to a man, like back in the day when they would talk mob, when they would talk getting to a man, how do you hurt a man, especially a man with money? You hurt a man by hitting his pockets. You hurt a man by hitting his pockets, right? Jameson Williams' pockets are about to get cracked. And I did that on purpose. Pun intended with the gambling term. But Jameson Williams, his pockets are get cracked. $332,000 as you're only in year 2. That's a lot of money. See, this isn't Russell Wilson in year 10 getting cracked. This is Jameson Williams when he's first starting to get some money. So do you know what that's going to make him want to do? That's going to make him want to get his money back. Do you know the best way to get his money back is to go on the field and put on the damn clinic for the rest of the season? That's the fastest way to get that 332 back. Is to get it back, showing them I am everything that you thought I was going to be and more. My apologies. It'll never happen again. You get that man, let's say, what is that, 10 games? 10 games, he cracks 1,100. I think he's going to make you forget about that mistake he made.
Well, I sure hope so. I'm just not positive, and
that's fair.
Yeah, I'm just not positive. And,
but we feel it.
And I kind of go back to the Brad Holmes statement too. When did this occur? Was it before? Did Brad Holmes know about this in January when he made that statement, or was this after the Brad Holmes statement? Because he was with the team for a year.
Yeah.
And Brad Holmes said that about him in January.
So this definitely had to be like something, the bowl game or the national championship game.
But again, this isn't a player that you just got, is what I'm saying. This is a guy you've been around all year. You know who he is. You know what he's giving you. And you're, for lack of a better way to say it, you are calling into question his commitment to his recovery.
Because he made a mistake.
No, I'm not talking about the gambling. Forget about the gambling.
But it wasn't the recovery. What if they've already they've known about this? Do you think they knew about this originally when it first, or do you think
that's what I'm saying. I don't know when it occurred. I'm just talking about this is a guy that's been with the organization now for a year, and in January it seemed like, and I think I've got a pretty good track record, apparently, of reading Brad Holmes when he talks about Jameson Williams. You can kill me in the chat all you want, and I'm being dragged through the mud here in the chat, and that's fine. I was dragged in the mud yesterday in the chat,
but
and
you were correct.
I didn't even have to wait 12 hours to be correct.
Yeah.
It's the God's honest truth. I didn't even have to wait 12 hours to be correct on it. And I hope to God I'm wrong about this. This just does not seem to be a young man that is taking his job seriously.
I just still disagree. I mean, at the end of the day, I understand your point of view, and he's not giving me a lot of wiggle room to argue on his behalf. But in terms of him being a player that I don't trust, in terms of him being a player that is giving me consistent chance, that's giving me more than one chance to see something, I've only seen one thing. I think he was doing everything. That's why he got on the field. That's why he got behind the secondary, like we saw last year, because he was doing everything that he was supposed to be doing, at least on the field. But definitely off the field, doesn't look like he was doing exactly what he was supposed to be doing.
Do the Lions change their plans in the draft now? Does this completely shake up the Lions' plans in the draft? And do they need insurance for Jameson Williams?
Oh, we're not teasing that? You ready for that
that's
one?
right now.
I think slightly. I think it can. The reason why is because they wanted a wide receiver anyway. Now, whether it was at 18 or 48, probably not. They would probably try to stay away from that unless somebody picked up at 48. Maybe that 55, Jalen Hyatt. Maybe at 55, one of those wide receivers along that line. But now this makes you consider, at 18, what are we doing with that pick? Because you're probably going best case scenario at 6. What are we doing at 18? Is it Quentin Johnson from TCU? Is the guy that I talked about, Jackson Smith and Jigba, is he going to be there? Or is this somebody now that you move up to go get from 18? Because I still think he's going to be a bad boy. You heard what Garrett Wilson as well as Chris Olave said. So maybe this makes them move up to go get Jackson Smith and Jigba. But I definitely think this alters the thought process of now potentially getting at 18 a wide receiver, or even moving up to getting somebody like Jackson Smith and Jigba. And don't forget, Jordan Addison is still there as well out of USC.
There's also some veterans out there, too, that you could pluck. You overpay him maybe for the year. I'll just bring it up. D-Hop is still out there. There's a few other guys still out there.
$15 million.
Maybe they bring them. I don't know. Maybe they want to stay with the young guys. They're going to draft a wide receiver. They are. Because
at 18?
They lost Quintez Cephas in this as well. He got caught for a year.
He didn't play
and
any game
C.J.
last
Moore
year.
got caught for a year. He was one of their best special teams guys. They were suspended for the year, and they both were released once this came down. And Quintez Cephas, I know we haven't talked about him a lot, but we were kind of liking him.
Yeah, but listen, there's another guy, and that's a perfect example, Braylon. That's a Charles Rogers type guy, Quintez Cephas, a guy who's, and again, when I relate it to Charles Rogers, I do so in the injury and being away from football. Quintez Cephas was injured and away from football.
Charles Rogers, one of the greatest wide receivers in Big Ten history.
I understand that, but I'm making the analogy based on the time away from football because of the injury.
Yeah, he was out twice. Yeah.
He was out twice. Quintez Cephas was out back-to-back years, and exactly what you said, you put it beautifully. When you are away from what you know, you fill your time with other things.
Yeah,
and Quintez Cephas is a guy that apparently filled his time with other things while he was away from football.
Yeah, I can't, and Quintez Cephas, obviously, he was a guy that could have played well for us 2 years ago or 3 years ago now.
I'm sorry, maybe the Charles Rogers analogy isn't the greatest. That's just one.
I get what you're saying. The time away.
The time away based on
makes
the
a lot of
injury.
sense.
Yes.
I get that, and with Quintez Cephas, we haven't heard from him in a while, and I don't think he would have been a part of this team anyway. But with that said, maybe there's something bigger here. You bring it up. Maybe there's something bigger. And since you were right about this initially, I got to defer to you on this. Maybe there's something different. These players missing time and being out, and because this is another thing with Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley missed time and was out, and then he made the bet. And here you are with Jameson Williams, and here you are with Quintez Cephas, and here you are. Maybe it's a bigger thing, and that's why I said maybe the NFL, these facilities, and although you shouldn't have to protect grown men from themselves, sometimes you have to protect grown men from themselves.
There's one person in the chat, basically, he's on my side. He said, I think he's on my side. I don't know. He just said, this dude came into the league literally when Calvin Ridley was suspended for gambling for a year. Why even go there? Why even do?
Because Calvin Ridley bet on his franchise.
Sure.
Well, I'm answering the dude's question. I appreciate him commenting. But Calvin Ridley bet on his actual franchise, much like Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame. Charlie Hustle bet on the Reds. Excuse me, Mazza kill me for saying it. The Reds. Excuse me, Cincinnati Reds. But so that's why he bet on his team. Meanwhile, Jameson Williams, he bet again in a different sport and whatever. At the end of the day, there might be something there. Going back to what you said. Space, time, being out. They might need to do something else as it relates to and I understand you said that you've talked to people that have assured you they are hammering these points out. They are making sure the players understand the rules and regulations as it relates to betting and sports betting. But a lot of times people will tell you things, and that's not necessarily what's really going on. Somebody could be telling that person that. Are they really doing it? Because if they were, I don't think you'd see a situation like this.
I think they will draft a wide receiver, and I think they will move it up. Maybe they were going to get one in the 4th round. Maybe they get one now in the 2nd round.
That's one of the things that's one of the things. Just looking at the Lions draft picks, I think this means one of 3 things.
48
or all of 3 things. I think there's 3 things in play here. Number 1, I don't think if he's available, I don't think they touch Jalen Carter. That's one.
That's what Terry Foster wrote that today.
They cannot miss. They absolutely cannot miss. 2, because of Jameson Williams.
Damn.
I do not think they even remotely consider a quarterback, whether they were or were not at 6 or 18. I do not think they pick a quarterback with this pick now because they need a player that can help them right away. And 3, I think they take a wide receiver with one of their picks in the first 48, either at 6, not at 6, but at 18 or at 48.
Would you cry if they got Jackson Smith and Jigba at 6? Would you cry?
At 6, would I cry?
Would you cry?
Depends who's there.
I mean, I'm just saying. Would you cry? You're getting a talented kid. Would you cry?
I wouldn't. I'm a wide receiver.
Again, you're taking a wide receiver who has not played for a year.
Braylon, I'm just saying you're getting a really talented kid.
Hamstring and
I know they're not going to do it.
Right.
Yeah, hamstring and me sitting out because I didn't want to get hurt because I wanted to be number 1. Now it's kind of backfiring a little bit, but he's fine.
Guys, more next, and I'll put out the phone lines next if you want to get in as well. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
All right, 27 locations throughout Metro Detroit. And if you join the Pepper Club, well, you're in business. They're going to beat all competitors by $5 on unlimited tanning. Plus, you get the cleanest salons in the DN, the best trained tanning professionals. That's right. That's what you're going to get. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters, Chili Peppers Tanning.com.
Hottest bulbs.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots, he scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Welcome back, WoodwardSports.com. Go to WoodwardSports.com for all the latest news, articles, updates, show clips, and merchandise. Terry Foster with a good one today on WoodwardSports.com about whether or not the Lions might just pass over a guy like Jalen Carter now with Jameson Williams out for the first 6 games. I want to throw the phone number out. Give you guys the chance to weigh in on this. How big of a deal do you feel this is? I mean, I was being literally attacked yesterday online for insinuating that Brad Holmes was not happy with Jameson Williams yesterday. And again, 12 hours later, this news comes out. Not even 12 hours later, this news comes out that Jameson Williams suspended 6 games for placing a bet at the facility. Here's the phone number, 313-552-6322. 313-552-6322. Couple questions I would have for you. How do you feel about this overall? Are you disappointed? Do you think I'm making too much of it? Do you agree with Braylon that he's gonna be fine? Pretty much, not to put words in your mouth, Braylon.
That's fine. That was good. I mean, I just, at the end of the day, for me, Ryan, the big thing is this: like, yes, he effed up. Let's call it what it is. He effed up as a grown man. I just see you hit somebody for $332,000 in their pocket, and it's the only thing I've seen. Brad Holmes, he hasn't really spoken about his workout process, but I can just see the speed in which he showcased in December last year. I can tell that he's done everything that he's supposed to do from a rehab standpoint, from a being there for the Detroit Lions standpoint, the physical side. So I know he's done that. I just see this as a mistake, and I'm telling you, man, like I'm a person that's been fined by the NFL. I've lost money. I ain't never lost no $332,000 worth, but I've definitely lost, $25,000, $50,000. So I know that instantly, as soon as you lose that, your first thought is, man, how fast can I play? How fast can I make some plays? How fast can I see? Because you know what? Success becomes all. So I just see that's the fastest way of him not success, and that's the easiest way that he's gotten to this point is balling out on the football field.
Would you like to have that money back right now?
Is that for what I did? Yes, I wasn't betting on games. I wasn't betting on
But
stuff.
if you had it all back, you could bet on a game.
I probably would too.
You just threw that money out like I'm paying a parking ticket here in Birmingham.
That's what it felt like, man. You call it at the time.
I'm pissed if I got to pay $40.
Dress code. I got fined during the game. I wore all white. It was Cleveland. We were playing the Arizona Cardinals. And I had on, you're not supposed to wear white shoes. You're not supposed to do white spat. It has to be black shoes. And you have to wear socks. I didn't wear any socks. I wore white shoes, white spat, had the all white uniforms on. They called a halftime, and they told my coach, Romeo Cornell, they said if he doesn't put black shoes on, he won't be allowed to come out in the second half.
All right, guys, we're just going to go down the line here. Full rack of calls, as they say in the business.
Wait, how did Romeo tell you about that?
Braylon,
put on them goddamn shoes, Braylon. He jumped at me, man.
Phone lines now. We'll go to Eric. Eric, you're first up here, WoodwardSports.com. Thanks so much for the call, bud. How you feeling?
What up, though, guys?
What up,
Eric?
Nothing much. Love the show, y'all. Ryan, man, I know you frustrated. Calm down, bro. Calm down. I mean, it seemed like it's a little excessive, but even Ian Rappaport, which he be great on the rules in the NFL, he said he didn't even know about the facility betting and where they can bet at. So it's not like he betted on the team. And I think he is genuinely sorry. But the one thing you said, what if they go 1-5? That'd be a reflection on Dan Campbell and Jared Goff.
Who?
Yes.
Ooh, I see you, Eric.
Not on him. So if that'd just mean you suck, because one player shouldn't determine, unless it's your quarterback, that you losing. But Ryan, let's give this kid a slack. And I'm like Braylon and Mavs. I think he gonna come back pissed. I think he gonna be like, okay, I didn't make a criminal act. I didn't go out here and beat no woman up. I got 6 games, and dudes get less than that. I made a bet, and I ain't even bet on the NFL. I didn't even bet on football, period. And I got 6 games, and I'm almost getting cost $7 million. Oh, I'm about to ball out.
I sure hope so, Eric. Thanks so much for the call.
Appreciate
I absolutely appreciate it. Keep listening to WoodwardSports.com. Let me get to D.
He makes a great point.
Absolutely he does. D, you're on WoodwardSports.com. How you doing? Thanks for the call.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Y'all all right?
Oh, yeah, you.
Hey, D.
Man, look, so I ain't gonna lie. Braylon perspective just brought me back down to earth because I was feeling exactly as you expressed. And it's because I've been a diehard Lions fan for so long, and I was just expecting so much for this year. And I was really expecting him to have like a Jamar Chase type of impact. So it was a little deflating when the news came out, but Braylon perspective did bring me back down to earth. Like, it ain't that bad, but at the same time, it is a little deflating, man. I had a lot of expectations, man. Especially with going into the draft, you know what I'm saying? Like, potentially Jalen Carter might be there. So it's just like, I don't know, man. It's a whole lot of layers to this now.
Yeah, I appreciate you siding with me, and we appreciate the call, and we appreciate the question, D, 100%.
I think you hit it on the head.
Yeah, I think you hit on the head. You know, I think, but at the same time, there is some, what Ryan said, you know, you have to make sure you take accountability for it. You got to make sure you know that this can't happen again. Like, we're bringing you into this organization for you to be a vital part of success. And kind of thinking about it, too, you know, thinking about Ryan's side, by them now having to maybe reassess their draft status, their draft concept or their strategy, well, that affects the Lions and affects what they were able to do. So that kind of, you know, that's not a good thing. And that's something that Jameson Williams might have put them in a position to do. So I have to take a little step back and say, that's not a good situation. So I got to give Ryan a little bit more credit for that one.
Again, Bray, I think Jalen Carter's totally off the board.
Off the board.
I think he's going to be gone. I think he's going to be gone by
Seattle,
6 anyway, or he's going to be gone by 5 anyway. But I think this takes Jalen off the board, and it takes any possibility of drafting a quarterback at 6 completely off the board because you need a player.
What if C.J. Stroud's there?
I think you need a player.
I just asked you a question.
I think you trade then. Elijah, you're on WoodwardSports.com. How you doing, Elijah?
What up, though?
You.
What up, though?
Hey, I'm gonna have to side with Ryan, man. I'm gonna have to side with Ryan. I'm gonna break it down.
Thank you,
so when we drafted Jamo, it just seemed like it's always something in the media with him. Like, first, it looked like he didn't want to be here, even though he posted a video happy, and then he be shading golf. It seemed like always liking and talking about he want Lamar here or liking that. So it's just like a continuing cycle with him of like just things that the media can nitpick with him. And to be honest, it kind of messed up our whole draft because now we got to think about a wide receiver where I think we would have got one in the 2nd round. And I don't think people realize what Ryan is saying is, like, we had DJ Chark last year. We don't have him this year. We have Marvin Jones. He's good, but, like, I don't think he's going to give you that same production. So now we got to reach for one of the top receivers. And I think that kind of made, Brad Holmes a little mad because now we got to really reach, and now we probably can't reach for Jalen Carter if he's there. Like, this kind of messed everything up because the whole draft process we've been talking about character this and character that, and now your 1st round pick who hasn't played, he played a few snaps last year. Now his character is coming into question because this thing it's deeper than just he just picked or he just made a mistake with the last situation. He just made a mistake. I appreciate that, and I'm gonna just say one thing against that. And I'm gonna let the Maz have the rest. As it relates to liking the idea of Lamar Jackson coming here, or liking posts on Twitter or social media, don't read too much into that. You talking about a kid that was in college. You talking about a kid that was in high school when Lamar Jackson was winning the Heisman Trophy. Lamar Jackson, one of the most iconic college players of all time. And Jameson Williams was in high school watching him do his thing.
It's not excuses. It's the
Excuse-
truth.
no.
Shoot, if I was year one and Michael Vick was coming out in 2000, don't you think for one second, I don't care who my quarterback was, I would have liked the post with the idea of Mike Vick coming to us or getting traded. So one, this is Lamar Jackson. This is a revolutionary player. Don't act like this is just Kirk Cousins. That's shade if it's Kirk Cousins.
Poor guy.
I just want to mention, you need a receiver anyway. Yeah. Marvin Jones is on a 1-year deal. Yeah. Why not go out and get a nice rookie wide receiver? You need 3. So you got Jamo, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you have X. What harm is it?
You don't
I don't
have
think
Jamo.
there's any
That's
harm.
why.
I don't think there's any harm at all. And you're crazy, Ryan.
Hey.
If at 6, C.J. Stroud's there, and you're not going to take him?
Not
Why? Because Jamo's not there?
I think you need a player.
He's a player.
Here, 2 things.
Thanks, Elijah. Appreciate you,
love
bud.
that. That C.J. Stroud stuff, man. I never have liked C.J. Stroud. Like, I just never have. And I haven't liked him because of the fact that it's the talent he's played with. It's the running back field he's played with.
But he's going to have that.
And it's how – no, where? Not everywhere.
Ain't gonna be
like, Ohio State plays against – like, the Ohio State don't play a real game until they play Michigan. And Michigan does the same before you say that. Neither one of them play real games. They don't see real coverages. He doesn't see real situations. He doesn't see real scenarios. C.J. Stroud getting 13% on that SA2 test – that's not on accident, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me go back to the phones, bring in Jay. Jay, you are on woodwardsports.com. How you doing, Jay?
That's why he keeps failing the mission.
That's why I like him.
Well, how y'all guys doing?
Doing good, my friend.
First time calling in, I just want to say it's good to talk with Braylon, and Maz is one of my favorites. He had me cracking up, and you, Ermanni, one of my favorite
Appreciate
reporters.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so
Congrats
much.
on your first call in. Thanks for calling.
I just want to say, you know, with Williams, man, you got to be smart about it. This is your money on the line. You know, you can't blow your money away. You know, you're blowing millions of dollars away for a few $100s. You got to be smart about that. You know, you don't want to throw your life away or your career on something stupid. You know, when we, you know, enter in on a new job, you know what the expectations are. So he had to know what the expectations were. I mean, it's a mistake. You know, he's young. We all made mistakes when we're young, but you got to learn from it. And I think this can be, you know, a possible, you know, a good opportunity for the Lions because I think with them trading back, they may be able to pick up a draft pick and, you know, get that draft pick, that extra draft pick. You know, they can get the wide receiver, somebody who's going to want to come and play, you know, and then they can also still pick up a good defense, you know, a defensive tackle, you know, in the later rounds. You know, it's all about how you train that person up. No matter what they say their skill set is, it's all about you teaching that person and training them up to be the best that they can be and get the best out of that person.
Hey, Jay, thanks so much for the call, my friend. I'm up against a break here, but we really appreciate your support and your call. We are taking phone calls today. Want to get a sense of where you guys are at with Jameson Williams. He, to me, is the Lions' most talented player.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about Cephas. Nobody's talking about C.J. Moore. Nobody's talking about a guy named Barry Hill or whatever his name is.
I didn't know he was on the team.
Exactly. I never heard of him before. We're talking about Jameson Williams because to whom much is given, much is expected. This is the most talented player on the Lions roster, in my opinion.
When we come back from the break, I got a different angle on this.
Very good. We'll do that, and we'll get to Eddie and everybody else who's on the phone lines right now. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Eddie, Dylan, Kyle T. We'll get back to you next.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hey, it's Maz for Big Boy, and you know what time it is? It's Strawberry Fest. It's back at Big Boy. Get on down there. Try those breakfast items right off the start. The strawberry hotcakes, the mouth-watering red velvet waffles, and how about for dessert, for lunch? I skipped right to dessert. If you're not feeling breakfast, try that bacon strawberry chicken wrap, or cool off with the refreshing summer splash salad. Don't forget to grab that Detroit. Grab that dessert. The berry delicious classic strawberry pie, the deep fried vanilla Oreo, or the strawberry hot fudge cake. All that and more at your local Big Boy.
Hour number 2 on a very busy sports day here in Detroit. Let me just reset it for you. If you're just joining us, just tuning in, however you're doing it. An NFL investigation has found that 4 Lions players violated the league's policy on gambling. Quintez Cephas, CJ Moore, they've both been suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games, and subsequently the Detroit Lions have released those 2 players. Jameson Williams and Stanley Berryhill have both been suspended for 6 games for gambling violations that include betting from an NFL facility on non-NFL games. Both can take part in the team's off-season program and preseason games, but once the season starts, they cannot be anywhere near the facility. And we are kind of sharing our thoughts about that. I think this is a much bigger deal than Braylon and Tom. I feel like I'm on an island by myself over here, and I was yesterday, and I'm comfortable with it. So
I was on the island with you.
You were with me yesterday.
Misfit Toys.
This guy has not given the Lions anything on the field, and it's concerning to me.
They knew that when they drafted him. They knew he wasn't going to give them anything for at least 8 to 10 games.
Thanks, Maz. And that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think that's fair to say he hasn't given him anything when the whole idea was to draft him, get him as healthy as he can, bring him along as slow as he can, and then kind of throw him out there at the end. Shoot, if the Lions weren't playing any meaningful ball last year, I guarantee you might not have seen him at all last year.
Yeah.
So, but with that being said, here's a different angle, Ryan, coming at it from this angle. Yes, we talked about Jameson Williams. He broke the rules, whether he was in a car a lot. More needs to come out so we can figure that out, but it still won't matter. He broke the rules, if you will. Maybe he appeals, maybe he gets 3. But I think it makes sense to talk about it in more in terms of moving forward for the future, the next situation, the next team, because there weren't just one player involved. This wasn't Jameson Williams of the Detroit Lions. The Washington Commanders had one player. They had one player involved. Now the Detroit Lions have 4 players involved, as well as people upstairs, is what we call people, employees of the building. You had people involved upstairs. You had a superstar involved. You had a guy that was a starter a couple years ago. You had a guy that was a damn sure good special teams player, and then you had a guy that was a practice squad player. I think it's a bigger thing because I don't think they are making it as clear as we may think. We thought after the Calvin Ridley thing it was over. You see a guy, he bet on his team, Mike Charlie Hustle, and that was it. That was the end. He came out with a statement with The Athletic. It was a great piece written by Calvin Ridley, great piece. But here we got 8 more players. Here we got 11 more people. 2 different franchises. I think it's a bigger thing, and I think they need to clarify the rules more specifically, because if it wasn't that big of a deal, if it was one guy, I could understand that. But you're talking 11 individuals.
Let me go to the back of the phone lines, bring in Eddie. How you doing, bud? You are on woodwardsports.com.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
I'm
actually calling from Atlanta. Braylon, my uncle actually played with you at Michigan on Antoine Campbell. I don't know if you remember him or not, but
Antoine Campbell?
He was the first.
Antoine Campbell? Hold on, I got to get clicked back here. Man, number 34?
That's his uncle. Braylon did have his headphones in for a second. This is Eddie's his uncle.
Okay, what's going on? How you doing, sir?
What's going on, Ryan, Maz, what's going on?
Good to see you.
Ryan, I wanted to say apologies first, because yesterday I caught the show, and I didn't like what you said about Jamo, and then the news broke out. So I still send you an apology on Twitter, though.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Because
takes a real man to apologize, brother.
Yeah, I thought you was trying to find something that wasn't there, but then the news broke out today. But the way I see it, yeah, he's a young man. He's very young. He be on 6 now with the rappers and all that. But I think it was a one-time mistake. I think he was definitely gonna learn his lesson from this mistake, because $300,000 in your pockets, that's definitely gonna make him change the ways. But I also think going back to the draft, they was gonna draft a receiver anyway. And I don't like the receiver coming out of Ohio State. I think they should go for the dude from TCU, because the way I see it,
Quentin
the dude from Ohio State and Amara, they about the same player to me, but just one just faster than the other. But I think they need to get a bigger X receiver. So I think the dude from TCU, they should go get him at 18 if they can't get a Jalen Carter at 6.
I mean, that Eddie, thanks so much for the call and your support here on WoodwardSports.com. I think Quentin Williams from TCU, the wide receiver, is Quentin Johnson. Sorry, he's number 18, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, at TCU.
He burned us a few times.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Hey,
but we suck at Michigan. We suck at the summer.
I almost let that come out.
We suck at Michigan at the semis. Thanks, Eddie.
Yeah, 100%. No, as it relates to that, man, I just think Jackson Smith and Jigba and Amon-Ra St. Brown, they are not the same receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown is an amazing receiver. You can put him in a lot of different scenarios. You can get him the ball. He's not going to drop anything. Jackson Smith and Jigba plays above defenders. Like, he plays above 2 defenders. It doesn't matter how many guys you put him. He's going to make a play. He also finds the zone, like, over the middle field, deeper down the field, and he also can go get the long ball. So, pause. I think he's a much better wide receiver. Quentin Johnson, I just don't know about, man. Like, I heard a little bit of rumblings about him in the Big 12 championship game. Then I saw him against us. Like, granted, he had a 76-yarder. I mean, he caught a 0 screen and 0 coverage. Like, so if the safety blitzes and the corner misses a tackle, it's a 75-yard touchdown.
Hey, Tom Kennedy's available.
Yeah, he is. So is Tom Mazawey. Hey. Dylan, you're on God, I keep doing that. WoodwardSports.com. How you doing, Dylan?
Good. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Yeah, so kind of like looking at how things are going down, if I'm Brad Holmes, just thinking about it, the biggest issue last year was defense. I mean, we missed Jameson Williams the majority of the season last year, and he didn't really have that large of an impact on the offense. So I think it does suck considering we could have had him this year, but I don't think it's like a panic where like we need to draft a wide receiver as one of those top picks. I still think you got to look at the defensive side of the ball. The D-line didn't get a whole lot better. We got a lot of cornerbacks, but they're all on one-year deals, and if they do well, they're going to want big contracts. So I think with those first couple picks, I'm still looking defense, their best available player. If one of those wide receivers does drop to them, then I think it's something you could definitely think about. But I don't think there's any panic in needing to use one of our top picks towards a wide receiver when we still have, Amon-Ra. You still are going to get Jameson Williams back. It's not like he's suspended indefinitely for years and years. He's going to miss a couple games here and there. You still got Marvin. You still got Josh Reynolds. You still got Khalif. Like, I think there's room for adding another player that can fill that role for a bit. But I don't think there's like a panic to needing to take the next best wide receiver anytime soon.
No, I think that's a good call, Dylan. Thanks. Thanks so much, Bray. What do you make of that?
I appreciate the call, and I think that at the end of the day, you got to listen to what Brad Holmes said yesterday. What was the thing that we most talked about? Embrace the darkness. As a point yesterday, before we even knew about Jameson Williams, it doesn't matter what position we draft. We've done so well. He's put the team together so well. It's structured so well. It doesn't matter what position you draft. So now you have a situation where you're really going to need a wide receiver, but you already needed one anyway. I think this now does another 2 things for me. One, you now need defense at that pick for sure at number 6. 6 has to be a defensive player. It always should have been one. You said what?
Why?
Because now at 18, I want a wide receiver. Because now at 18, I want an offensive player. So the fact that I know that I'm going offense at 18, I know I got to make 6 defense. And if I'm going to make 6 defense, here comes Tyree Wilson.
You could trade up too, right?
You could trade up, but why trade up when I don't have to? Who am I trading up to get?
Well, there might be a guy that they really love, and you might get him at 8, 9, or 10.
Tyree Wilson at 6 without having to trade up. I'll take him at 6, and then we can figure out the wide receiver position at 18.
100%, Braylon. Totally agree with you, and I think that's what this does as well. Yeah. Kyle, you're on WoodwardSports.com. How you doing, Kyle? Kyle.
Good. How's it going, you guys?
Good, buddy.
What's up, buddy?
By the way, it's Kyle.
Kyle. Hi, Kyle.
It's Kyle.
There we go.
It's Kyle.
What's going on, you guys?
You, baby.
So, I'm confused on why everyone's in panic mode. What exactly did these guys do for the team last year? I mean, I think we have 4 players. We lost 2. All 4 of them did nothing for the team really last year.
Well,
so
C.J. Moore
we're
did.
literally
C.J. Moore was an excellent special teams guy. Excellent.
Yeah, special teams, sure, but
they gave him $5.5 million about a month and a half ago.
For 3 years.
Okay. Well, we shouldn't be in panic mode for the wide receiver. We're acting as if we actually we're in no different boat situation than we were last year.
Well, they did have Chark
DJ
last year.
Chark and Marvin Jones. Yeah, but Marvin Jones could put up 500 yards a season too.
I think, Kyle, I appreciate that perspective, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, I get it.
I at all. Jameson Williams to me is a game breaker, is a franchise changer. That's how talented I believe this player is. And they did win 9 games last year, not 12 or 13. They didn't make the playoffs last year. And, we talk about the team like they won the Super Bowl or they went to the Super Bowl, but they didn't even make the playoffs. And I think to make that next step this year, you need elite talent. Jameson Williams is one of those guys. Is DeAndre Swift going to play 17 games? Can you imagine, I think the 2 most talented players on the Lions team, if you just go talent, is Jameson Williams and DeAndre Swift. And one of those guys is gone for 6 weeks. So
so's the other one.
So's the other one. And we don't even know it yet. I don't know. So that's where I'm coming from.
Maybe 6 weeks.
Yeah,
maybe. We're hoping that he can repeal it. We're hoping that he can only get 3 weeks. But even though we're still in no different situation than what we were last year. The players had no bearing on the team. So. I mean, yeah, it sucks that we're losing him, but when we get him back, we're just going to be that much better. It doesn't mean that we have to reach for a wide receiver just because we're in panic, just because someone's panicking because we lost a receiver that didn't even do anything last year.
All right, I agree with you. I agree with you on the panic. There is a lot of panic going on, and I am one not for the panic. When we started the show, I said that Ryan Ermanni was panicking a little too much, and I, however, was not panicking. So I understand the panic. But what Ryan Ermanni just said is 1,000% correct. Last year, the Lions finished 8-2 last 10 games. They finished a total of 9-8 in the season. They got held out of the playoffs by 1 game, so they did not make the playoffs last year. And Jameson Williams wasn't a big part of what they did last year, correct? So how do they take the next step this year? Oh my God, it's with the receiver that they moved up to number 12 to draft, and Jameson Williams. The Detroit Lions haven't been talked about as just winning 9 games next year. They haven't been talked about as having a winning record and being a little bit better than they've been in the past. People are talking about them in the NFC Championship race. They're talking about them potentially in the Super Bowl, talking about them definitely hosting a home game. And you know why? It's because they're that damn good, and it's because they're expecting players like Jameson Williams to take the next step, Aiden Hutchinson to take the next step, Kirby Joseph to take the next step. You can't take the next step when you're sitting on the bench because you're suspended. So for that, I definitely agree with Ryan on that point.
I just remember there's another receiver out there.
Who's that?
Kenny Golladay.
Man, stop.
You're getting all silly. Charlie's going to have the last word on this. Charlie, you are on WoodwardSports.com. Last word.
Hey, what's up, guys? I love the show. Listen to you every day.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Do you guys think Brad Holmes moved Okudah so fast because he knew Jamo was going to get suspended?
It's a great question.
For that extra pick to maybe move up in the draft and get like an AT Perry or Mingo.
Look, it's a great question, and we just, Braylon, don't have any idea what Brad Holmes knew and when.
Yeah, I agree on that.
They knew at least a month ago.
I agree with both you guys, but the one to answer his question, I appreciate Charlie. I don't think so. I think that move is a part of bigger play. I think with Okudah, the faster you get a move, I think the bigger you can, the more you can get for him. You move him early. They got a 5th rounder for him. If he would have lagged around a little bit, maybe that drops to a 6th rounder. Also, they're still playing poker. I think playing poker in the sense that if you look at the contracts, everybody with the exception of C.J. Gardner-Johnson or Cam Sutton, at the DB, they're on a 1 year. So now you play chess because now you have the other teams thinking that you're going after Christian Gonzalez. That's the move. So I think that's a chess move.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. I got to get to a break, but I want a question in legitimate. And the caller referenced Jeff Okudah.
That was a damn good question, by the way.
Caller referenced Jeff Okudah. It just got me to thinking. Remember Jeff Okudah didn't play for a while? And we called him a bust. We called him, and I'm not saying we, Lions fans had a vitriol for Jeff Okudah unlike anything we have ever seen. But nobody cares about Jameson Williams. It's fine. Why do we feel, is it different?
Because Jeff Okudah.
Can you wait? Hold on to it. Hold on to it. We'll get to a break. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Custom Health Centers. Custom Health Centers, oh, man, I'm telling you, this place is great. Not only will they help you lose weight, they're going to help you if you feel tired, depressed, unmotivated. Do you have a low sex drive, muscle loss, or belly fat? Testosterone optimization therapy is a safe and effective way to restore your vitality, confidence, and performance, and reduce heart disease. Visit customhealthcenters.com, customhealthcenters.com, or give them a number, give them a call, the number on your screen right there, 877-965-0910, 877-965-0910.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan.
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man. You've heard of Gordon Ramsay. You've heard of Bobby Flay. But Thursday night Master Chef Brad Holmes will be in the kitchen with all of the ingredients needed to make a great dish on draft night. Join Woodward Sports for our third annual Woodward Sports Draft Party live at 5th Avenue in Royal Oak. The past 2 years, these parties have been standing room only, so get your tickets early at eventbrite.com. Don't miss out on all the fun with Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, and the entire Woodward Sports crew. The party starts at 7:30 p.m. Don't miss the biggest draft party in the Motor City, brought to you by the biggest network, Woodward Sports.
WoodwardSports.com. Appreciate everybody watching, listening, however you're doing it. YouTube, Fox2Detroit.com. YouTube again.
Twitch.
Well, I like doing it on the website on my phone. I like watching on the website on my phone. Right. But when I'm at home, sitting on my couch, and I can YouTube us on the television, that's the way to do it, in my opinion.
I just shoot it from my phone to the
exactly. And if you are watching on YouTube, over 1,000 live viewers, go ahead and hit that like button for us right now. Let's see if we can get to over 250 likes by the end of this segment. Braylon Edwards, I asked you a question before the break. I'll ask it again in case we have anybody new watching. The caller in the previous segment brought up Jeff Okudah.
Charlie did.
Charlie. We, I think, collectively in Detroit called Jeff Okudah a bust because he was injured, never played 2 years before he got on the field, basically in Detroit. But for Jameson Williams, we somehow make every excuse in the book for him. What is the dynamic between why were we so harsh on one player but let somebody else off so easily?
That's an easy question. The question is, and the answer is this. In college, at Ohio State, in 3 seasons, no one was out or wowed by Jeff Okudah. Jeff Okudah wasn't the next Denzel Ward. Jeff Okudah wasn't Marshawn Lattimore. Jeff Okudah, he didn't fit into that mold. He was a question. He didn't even do anything his first 2 years in college. And so now, Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, they're trying to justify him when he comes out of the draft. On the other side, we knew who the hell Jameson Williams was. Jeff Okudah had 3 picks his whole career at Ohio State. Jameson Williams had 1,572 yards and 18 touchdowns his junior year at Alabama. He also was about to be one responsible for the Alabama Crimson Tide winning that national championship. So then after this long period of should you have drafted him, why did they draft him, he was injured, they moved up to 12, oh my God, why did you do that? First time you see him score, he's waiting for the ball for like 10 seconds in the end zone, wide open. So you know that that's the type of capability that he has. And you look around the NFL, what's hot right now? Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Wide receivers are hot right now, not DBs. That's an easy answer to why nobody's tripping on Jameson Williams over Jeff Okudah.
I'll also say this. We took him instead of a quarterback. Also, the bums picked him. If those bums picked Jameson Williams, we'd be reading him out. On
Talking
the
about
too.
the bums, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia.
By the way, Matt Patricia got the job with Philly.
So good.
He is a senior defensive assistant. I can't understand it.
Yeah.
Good luck to Darius Slay.
He'll be fine, man. It sucks, the energy, but there's enough room that you can move around.
I hope Philly pays for that.
And that's
called arrogance to me. By
Yeah,
hiring a guy that you're one of your main guys that you paid a lot of money to, don't like.
At the same time, like, it's one of those things. Even though he didn't have success here in Detroit and then he was fired or let go,
He sucks.
Yeah, but he's still been around a lot of championships. He's still been around a lot.
His defense didn't do it.
I understand that, Maz, but he's still seen it. He's still been around it. And if you're like, hey, what can we? Because think about how that defense was last year in that Super Bowl. It was trash. They got trashed on. So it's like one of those situations where if we can do anything to make ourselves a little bit better, because he's not coaching a room. He's just giving some insight that has an office.
I know. He's a senior guy like Fox is here.
It sucks 100%, but...
Before we move on from this topic, I just want to ask you guys, take a step back, because the maturity of Jameson Williams is coming into question here.
Yeah.
I'm calling into question whether this is a mature player or not.
Yeah.
Does it bother you? And I talked about that this alliance. Jameson,
they represent
this
Jameson.
alliance. Yeah, Alliance Sports. Does it bother you at all? Let me ask it to you like this: If this is Braylon Edwards,
right,
that the player that got suspended for 6 games, do you make that apology or do you let your representatives make it?
My representatives along with me. There's no way that my mom, Melissa Player, would have authorized that. Like, she wouldn't authorize that last sentence. Like, the sentence that you said, my mom, as well as my stepfather, as well as my dad, as well as everybody that we had on our team, they would not have allowed that letter to go out as it relates to that last line because it doesn't take full onus. And it's kind of like a half apology. Like, I understood what they were trying to say, but to your point, Ryan, there was no need for that, and it makes you look a type of way.
I just think this, via Alliance Sports, the apology via Alliance Sports, that bugs me too. It does. It should say via Jameson Williams. I'm so freaking sorry.
But isn't it a legal matter? Don't usually when you do a legal matter, isn't it the attorney that speaks for the client?
Well, if you're,
I never heard from Deshaun Watson until he got to Cleveland.
I mean, that's a legal.
I didn't hear from Calvin Ridley until the Athletic letter.
I don't remember the Calvin Ridley. I don't remember the Calvin Ridley situation.
I was just saying, like, is that along the same line?
I mean, I just want this guy to say, I'm so freaking sorry. I apologize to everybody in Detroit, and I am going to do everything that I freaking can to
Why do you need
back.
him to apologize to you so much?
He doesn't have to apologize. Well, I think you apologize to your organization, your fan base, and your teammates.
He did that.
Alliance Sports did that.
Yeah, but see, training camp hasn't started yet. Like he'll be in front of that microphone next Monday or after the draft that following Monday.
What about this thing? It's not your microphone?
Yeah, but what if you're not ready for the situation? I feel like if Brad Holmes wanted him to be in front of that microphone, then Brad Holmes would have had him in front of that microphone.
I don't know. I think
you're adding it to the ledger.
I'm adding it to the list of. I'm adding it to the pile.
Yeah.
If Brad Holmes says don't speak until a certain time, then he can't speak till such and such time.
No, but somebody spoke for him.
Yeah, just for now until he gets in front of that microphone. Once he gets in the microphone, he'll be able to answer questions and he'll be able to say more.
What Ryan's saying is he goes on Twitter at Jamo and says, "Hey, I'm sorry to my team, my fans, my coaches, my parents, my family.
I learned a lot.
I learned a lot. This will never happen again. I'm going to come back better than ever." That's all he's saying.
Is that's? I mean, I don't think.
I
that's
just rattled
too hard.
that off without thinking about it.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, like, y'all act like he owes you guys. It's going to come out.
Well, he's a professional athlete.
But he's going to apologize. He made a mistake. Like, I get it. He don't owe the city of Detroit. He owes the franchise that took a chance on him.
Then I don't owe him the courtesy to give him the benefit of the doubt either.
Then don't give him the benefit of the doubt. But don't be clamoring for an apology for him. You need to apologize to me.
I think he needs a better PR staff.
That I can agree with.
I think he needs better PR.
I agree with that.
We'll take a break. Go around the NFL next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. Are you kidding me? I got got so excited.
Did you bring the steak with you?
Oh, no, I ate it all up.
Sucker.
Oh, my gosh.
Son of a
It is the weekend. What are you waiting for? Elevate your dinner. Go to Fairway Packing, the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Oh, my goodness. It is such a perfect place. You can try the Burrata Blend burgers, maybe the award-winning Chop House steaks, the dry-aged Wagyu Tomahawk steak.
Wagyu.
Oh, my God, was that thing good. See one of the top chefs in the country. You're coming with me next time, Braylon. See one of the top chefs in the country choose Fairway. If you would like to order your steaks, they ship anywhere. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Family owned since 1956. You walk in the steak shop, there's a big sign, 1956. That's all it says.
Good year.
Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots, he scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry. Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
I don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, there's so much going on here. So much going on.
It's a week left, man. It's less than a week.
Less
6
than a
days.
week. Less than a week. Absolutely.
6 days.
Have 2 picks on Thursday, we think. As of right now, anyway, they have 2 picks on Thursday.
We'll be live at Fifth Ave in Royal Oak.
Absolutely.
Somebody asked me. Go ahead.
I was going to say, before we get to the NFL news and notes, JB just sent me this. Sent us this, actually. Rule changes in college football.
If you look in your pile, I gave you a story.
Oh. Sorry, I've been all Jamo all day. Go ahead, Maz. Tell me about
Hold on,
it.
side note for
Yeah.
Maz. Just to make Maz make more sense as it relates to CJ. The Lions had the 7th ranked special teams last year, so losing him is going to be a big loss, Maz. You're absolutely correct.
CJ Moore.
7th ranked special teams.
They paid him, too.
That's damn good. That's going to be a big loss. You're right.
It is. I'm surprised, man, that they cut him. He's going to be down for a year, but they just cut him.
That's tough.
Yeah, I do have this in my pile. It's old. This is new. This says expected to approve. This says approved.
It's an hour difference, Ryan. It's an hour.
Well, again, I just want to, you call me out. I'm going to call you out.
You're not going to call me out.
I'm going to call you out.
No, you're not.
I'm going to call you out.
I was ahead of the game.
You were behind the game.
You can tell it's Friday.
Anyway, the NCAA did approve a rule change to stop the clock stoppages on first downs in college football.
Yeah.
Been a rule since 1968. It's differentiated college football in the NFL. Clock stops on a first down.
I liked it.
In an effort to speed up these games, we've seen in baseball. They're going to stopping the clock after a first down.
Can I give you the best rule college football should adapt?
Yes.
Dump that stupid overtime.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It is the stupidest, the worst
but safety
overtime rule.
First,
you talk about making a game go long. What are you kidding?
I saw that game, and because I know the first one I saw, I remember like it was yesterday. It was Illinois and Penn State.
Yeah,
and it was the worst thing
2
I had
points?
ever freaking seen. And I understand why they came up with that rule. I just don't like it. They came up with that rule because I think it was the year before that. It was that LSU and Mississippi State game that went like 9 overtimes. Game lasted. You remember that, JB?
Oh, yeah.
And then they had the tall wide receiver with the dress that got off, and he had a great game. But that game was like 7 hours long. So thought they were changed, and then it got worse.
All right, let's go around the NFL. Tom Mazawey.
All right.
Yeah,
hey,
baby.
There's a guy at ESPN that really loves the Lions, and his name is Louis Riddick.
Did he hear about the suspension before he said it?
No, this was a day before the suspension.
Okay. He still likes him?
He still likes him.
Oh, okay.
So I'll read this, Ryan, because I actually want to say something about it. I think they are easily the favorites to win the division. This team is going to be a problem in 2023 all the way to maybe the NFC Championship game. This is ESPN's Louis Riddick. And what I want to give him credit for, Maz, and you bring this, there were a couple people that were on from the beginning. There were some people that noticed the Lions last season, even before the season started. They liked them. They said this team could be changing this year. And they even stood in there when the team was 1-6 because the offense was that good. Those people are Dan Orlovsky, Big Swagoo, and Louis Riddick. Those three were all. I think I had one more. Lou Swagoo, and Brady Quinn. Those four. Yeah, but Lewis has been on the Lions from the jump, so that I appreciate.
Did you see the Levis that I said, the Dan Orlovsky breakdown of Will Levis today?
Yeah, he says it's confusing.
And we can't play it to you because we can't play it because of copyright and
Licensing.
YouTube rules. But Dan Orlovsky pretty much basically says that Will Levis is the most difficult player to evaluate because there are these balls that he throws where nobody is open and he has no time to throw it. And people are dropping these balls, but he's like, I just can't evaluate him. It's so hard to evaluate because he has no talent around him.
I understand that, like the no talent around him thing, but I just think still I would see more. I've seen a lot of players that play with a lot of bad players, but you see the space here and there. Here's an interesting thing.
And I just want to make clear, I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to that.
Well, apparently a lot of people don't.
Yeah, we know.
On this,
you are such
a lot of people don't, because on this day some years ago, Mel Kiper Jr. said that if Jimmy Clausen wasn't the real deal,
here we go.
he would retire. And guess what? Jimmy Clausen played one season for the Carolina Panthers, who drafted him 48 overall, 3 years total in the NFL, and Mel Kiper Jr. is still working at ESPN. So sometimes, even the best, they don't know.
Still waiting on that, Tom Mazawey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I didn't mean that, Ryan. I was a cheap shot.
Yeah,
cheap shot. We spoke about Matt Patricia. He is the senior defensive assistant with the Philadelphia Eagles. And the teams, we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier in the week, but teams are calling on Trey Lance. And one in particular plays in the NFC North, and it's the Minnesota Vikings. They called to see Trey Lance's availability from the San Francisco 49ers. I was going to do a fill-in-the-blank segment today and ask you, blank, Trey Lance will be blank in 2023.
I got that. Go ahead.
No, let you go.
Not the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers.
Will he be a 49er?
No.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that. I thought you knew he was going to be somewhere. I was eager.
Yeah,
he definitely won't be with the 49ers. Hell, Brock Purdy's injured, and they have him listed as the starting quarterback. Like 100%. And if you're the Minnesota Vikings and this thing has legs, Ryan, everybody wants a quarterback like this nowadays, a quarterback that can run, or a quarterback that can scramble. Minnesota had a lot of games last year with Kirk Cousins. He just looks slow as hell. Like, he just looks like a guy that can't get it done in terms of the new way the NFL is being played. So if they want to take a chance, bring him in and see what they can do. They don't have to give up 3 first-rounders to do it.
Talking about the 49ers, was it you that sent that to me or you that sent that to me today, saying the longer this goes with the Jets and the Packers, Aaron Rodgers is
in play.
A dark horse in play to get traded to the San Francisco 49ers.
That would be a last-ditch effort.
That's so crazy. He's gone from – if this impact's happening in the last minute, NFC it's over.
Oh, it's over.
Like, if he gets that –
if he goes to that team with Debo and Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey
I'm a Jets
George
fan.
Kittle.
I'm a Jets fan, and I'd like to see him with the Niners.
I'm not going to lie. I would, too.
It's hard to argue. That would be one of the most potent offenses ever.
That would leave the Jets.
He doesn't deserve that reward, though.
I agree with you.
No. You know what?
Finish his career where he played college.
After all the Michigan that he has put people through in the last 5 years, he does not deserve to go out as a quarterback of that 49ers team. No. Absolutely not. I take that back. No. Stricken from the record.
I think he knows what he's doing, because remember a month ago he came out of his cave and he said, I told them I'm ready to play for the New York Jets. And nothing has happened since that day. And I know they're going back and forth with draft picks and what they're going to give up and all. But when you hear nothing but crickets, maybe he has what a plan he had. He's just going to wait it out till the Jets and Packers finally give up. And the Packers got to get rid of him for something, or they got to pay him or he retires, and they got to eat it.
Aaron Rodgers is the benefactor of the media. The media has been hailing him as the anointed one since he won the Super Bowl, trying to say he was better than Tom Brady, trying to say he was better than Peyton Manning for the better part of the last 13 years. So now all these owners, all these coaches have been running around chasing after his ass for the last 5 years. He is the benefactor of the media, because last time I checked, he ain't won a playoff game. How long?
A long time. LFIV on the YouTube, on the WoodwardSports.com chat. Really great one, but it just doesn't even make, like, you can't even quantify it. How will he fit into the Niners cap? What cap?
Yeah.
This salary cap in the NFL
doesn't exist.
Fake.
Penalty.
Right.
It's called penalty.
Right.
They will be ready to pay
It
that.
is fake.
Yeah.
Was
it the Yorks?
Yeah.
Jed York?
Guys, got to get a break. Come right back. But first, a message from Cousins Maine Lobster.
Cousins Maine Lobster, Cousins-MaineLobster.com. They got 2 food trucks rolling around Metro Detroit. And how you know where they're going to be? Well, you click on that QR code. It'll take you to their website, Cousins-MaineLobster.com. You can download their schedule, see where they're at, or you can just get right there and download their app. It's free, and then the more you order and go pick up, like Lindsey Hunter does for his lunch, you get points, and that's how you save money down the line. For the best lobster this side of New England, it's Cousins-MaineLobster.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, 1 for you, 1 for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hey, how you doing? Bray, how you doing? What do you got going on this weekend?
You know me, man. I'm always chill. I'm laying low. I mean, the weather looks a little gloomy, if you will. Oh, you know what? Fights tomorrow. Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, man. So people have been clamoring for this fight now for the better part of 3 years. So here it is. So I'm excited, man. I'll probably do that and probably just chill back, man, and watch the movies. You know me, man.
Oh, man.
Max's house.
Oh, yeah. Give Max my best. I'm thinking about Max. I like Max.
It's always better at Max.
Absolutely. Guys, I wanted to bring up the Tua Tagovailoa discussion because as we continue to go around the NFL here, he did consider retirement.
Yeah.
And to go from considering retirement to go to I'm not worried about CTE, those are 2 very different sides of the pendulum here. This is from Adam Beasley. Tagovailoa said that the independent neurologist told him that CTE was not a big concern for him, given the position he plays and the amount of hits he takes. Look, I am no doctor, but how that neurologist can say that as if it's fact.
Well,
it's
doctor.
I don't think you can say that to any NFL player that puts on the helmet.
He'll be fine.
It's not necessarily he'll be fine. To that point,
No, I'm just saying that's what the doctors say.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying you can't say that. But what he can say is you can look at the studies you have. You can see the minds or the brains that they study. You can see the players that can play from, and you can look at what position the majority of them play. So I'm sure that his findings are based on the position, that they usually see or hear from as they're doing research evaluations. The good thing about this, though, is the fact that Tua said, and he was very transparent. I watched the interview. I mean, at the podium, he's very transparent. Said that they seriously thought about that, and I think that was major for fans to hear, because fans were the ones really going after this thing last year. Fans were the really one. The NFL needs to do better. This is crazy. Why is Tua still playing football? It was the fans with the fake cry and the fake care. But the fact that he says, thought about it, this was something that we seriously considered, it lets him know that he took it serious. And now he comes back on the other side and says that we're going to 100% play. I've seen outside independents said that this is okay, or I'm comfortable enough with the outside opinion that I got. My thing is this. Quarterbacks have been doing this for a very, very, very long time. And he's very new to the situation. He's trying to make generational wealth. He's trying to make money. He's analyzed this. He's talked with his wife, because he has a wife, he has a child. And he thinks the decision is the best one to make. He's been taking judo. I heard he's taking judo to learn how to fall. So I think it's a good decision at the end of the day. I mean, it's tough, but it's a good one. I think the fake outcry on Twitter and all that by the fans could cost him bread if he was to listen to it.
Well, he should go sit down with Jim McMahon before he makes any decisions.
They're not hitting like that anymore.
I understand, but he's still getting hit. His head hits the ground. He is going to wear the new helmet, right? Because they have a new quarterback helmet out now. I talked to you about that a couple of weeks ago. It's going to help prevent concussions a little bit more. The percentage goes up for a quarterback-only helmet. He'll wear that. And he said he wants his son to see him play at least a little bit, so his son will remember what he did growing up, and he just loves football.
Did I mention this to you guys yesterday, or I don't remember if it was with you guys or on Fox 2 yesterday, but no. Tom Brady, and I said,
wasn't us.
Okay, it's not saying that I'm Nostradamus over here or anything.
You don't think he'll be in the booth?
But yeah, whatever. He was asked about playing for the Dolphins. I was having a discussion, and I said, I think Tom Brady's plan.
That was us, because you asked, would you take a flyer?
Yeah.
You said like, would you give him the playbook?
Give him the play. Yes.
Yes.
Would you give him the playbook?
Would you give him the playbook?
Would you give Tom Brady the playbook if you're Mike McDaniels?
And I said yes.
And you said yes. He was asked about this yesterday. He was asked, if there's an injury, would you possibly unretire and play for the Miami Dolphins? His answer? I do have some friends on the Dolphins I really like.
Good old
He's
Tom.
That's a quote.
He's just playing.
Maybe. Fine. But that's not a no.
It's something there. If it's 1%, it's 1%.
You don't want to go out like he did against the Cowboys.
That was tough.
Yeah. They beat his ass.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go, man. Ryan, look, Ryan's you batting 1,000 this week, man.
Start changing that Ryan clown emoji to just put I don't know, a magician hat on.
I got a little something.
Nostradamus, whatever it is.
You want me to wait till Monday for this Tyree Wilson versus
I like
Anderson?
it. I like this.
All right,
Hell, Monday we can have a whole new.
There's NFL scouts out there, a lot of them actually, that think Tyree Wilson will be a better pro than Will Anderson Jr. Now, again, I'm going to say it. I don't know as much about this Tyree Wilson as everyone else does, but I've seen Will Anderson play. And, yeah, he was better last year than he was this year, but I still think I can't see that happen.
Who's the comp for Tyree Wilson? That's what I want to know in the NFL. Yeah. Because Will Anderson Jr. is like a Von Miller. Who's the comp for Tyree?
I don't know.
DeMarcus Ware.
I'll take Von Miller.
You said what?
I'll take a Von Miller. I think you can line him up in many different locations on that defense.
Will Anderson,
would a Hall of Fame DeMarcus Ware or a Hall of Fame Von Miller? Which player would you take?
Von Miller, but I don't think Will Anderson Jr. is Von Miller.
Okay.
And the only reason why is I'm watching, I'm paying attention to the 17 to the 10 sacks, how it went from 17 to 10, and you start to figure out, well, why did the sacks go down? And then you look at the fact that he's heavier, and you look that he tried to bully everybody. He tried to bulldoze, and he tried to push and pull guys. Like, he didn't really create moves and specialty moves, and he's been playing for a while versus Tyree Wilson. And with Tyree Wilson, he hasn't been playing football for that long. So he's operating at this lane. learning on the fly. He's been playing since sophomore year. So he's learning on the fly. He's a much bigger body than Will Anderson Jr. You're talking about a guy that's 6'6" and upwards of 285 pounds and can be. He can play inside very comfortably. He can play outside very comfortably. So you can do different things with him, different stunts, different changes, different moves. You can play different people at the same time with him. Because now you can put Tyree Wilson in the game with James Houston. You can put him in the game with Pascal if Pascal pans out. And he also can drop in coverage. And by him being 6'6", by him being 6'7", he's in the passing lanes. He gets his hands up. He's knocking balls down. So with that being said, I see why people are clamoring. I think the only thing is people see Alabama and people see Texas Tech, and then it's like that's it. It's like he's at Texas Tech, and this guy's at Alabama. Well, of course I want the guy from Alabama, and I think they're being blind to what he could be.
Just saying, Will Anderson Jr., 6'4", 240.
He's 260 right now. He was 257.
Okay. So 6'4", 257.
Yeah.
Von Miller, 6'3", 250.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I mean, they're right there. They're right there.
Yeah, Vaughn was a problem, man. If Cam Newton wasn't the quarterback coming out there, Von Miller would have been #1 pick.
Right there.
Yeah. It's a good call.
Maz, did you have something else you wanted to get to?
I got a couple of things, but we don't have to.
Yeah, but I just want to say
I want
this.
to do NBA, NHL
Yeah,
before the
I just wanted to say this, too, about Will Anderson and Tyree Wilson.
Yeah.
Give me the player that has done it on the field. We talk about it with quarterbacks all the time.
Only thing with quarterbacks is different is the system. You can consistently put a big guy in terms of defense. You put a defensive player in like the right system, they become a monster. With quarterbacks, you are the system. You put John Lynch in a man coverage system. John Lynch ain't no Hall of Famer, but you drop John Lynch in the cover 2 with Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well as Denver Broncos. That joker's in the Hall of Fame. It's about system on defense. Quarterback, you are the system.
And you talk about these quarterbacks. You mentioned C.J. Stroud. I mean, give me the quarterback that I see do it over the quarterback that I don't see it. Yeah. You know, Will Levis is rocketing up this board, apparently. He is, according to multiple scouts, the quote-unquote apple of the Indianapolis Colts' eye. Multiple scouts reportedly believe that the Colts would select Levis over Stroud if both are available at 4. Levis is now the favorite to be selected number 2 plus 180 via Caesars Sportsbook. So Houston potentially in on Will Levis. Indianapolis may even try to trade up to get him.
If I'm the coach, I mean, it makes sense though. I mean, you look at it from this standpoint. One, like that test. Like, that's what I want to kind of talk about is the test. Mm-hmm. Everybody asks me about these test scores.
People, not the Wonderlic,
the S2.
But, yeah, S2.
The S2 test now. See, back in the day, you get a bad test on the Wonderlic. People weren't so caught up in numbers and stats and what it was. Like, so what, a player doesn't want to take the test or just answering questions just to get through it. They didn't care about that in 2005 or 85 or 95. Now they care. You know why? It's because they care so much about analytics. So when you care about analytics now more and you got analytical coaches – and you see C.J. Stroud at 13%, and then you look at Will Johnson at 93%, the things like that, they bother you in this day because we focus so much on analytics. What are the numbers? What are the numbers? What does the book say? It's almost like gambling. Well, what does the book say?
Bryce Young, I think, got 98 or 99.
He got the highest, 96. Will Levis, 93, and then it dropped down. But the other thing, too, is like, shoot, women watch football at an all-time high. Women watch way more football than they used to, whether it's gambling, whether it's fantasy, whether it's whatever, whether it's husbands, younger married. They watch too. Will Levis is the guy you come in. Will Levis can sell some jerseys.
Yeah.
Will Levis can sell some jerseys to some women in Indianapolis. He's 6'5". He's got the jawline like Superman. He's got some guns. You think I'm joking? They brings people in, man.
No doubt.
They better get it right.
Got to get a break.
They won't.
I want to get into some NBA talk. Maz was right again. He was right again, but we'll save him. Whatever, it's fine. Bowling Warehouse.
Why does Braylon get so upset that I was right?
I don't. I just laugh. Like you tell me to bet on something everybody knows to bet on. Golden State at home. They have the best odds this year. They got the best home record this season. They got the best home record this season. They got the best shooter ever.
Bowling Warehouse.
They got the best shooter ever.
Warehouse.
They got the best shooter ever.
That's an easy one. He's out here with the Warriors.
Nah, I didn't know it was going. I know it was gonna be a blowout. I give him credit for the blowout.
Man's out here giving you the Warriors. best home team in the NBA.
I like making mess.
He's out here giving you the war.
Go to Fulling Warehouse. FullingWarehouse.com. Hamtramck.
Yo.
What else?
How about you've heard of Gordon Ramsay? You've heard of Bobby Flay. But Thursday night Master Chef Brad Holmes will be in the kitchen with all of the ingredients needed to make a great dish on draft night. Join Woodward Sports for our 3rd annual Woodward Sports Draft Party live at 5th Avenue in Royal Oak. The past 2 years, these parties have been standing room only, so get your tickets early at eventbrite.com. Don't miss out on all the fun with Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, and the entire Woodward Sports crew. The party starts at 7:30 p.m. Don't miss the biggest draft party in the Motor City, brought to you by the biggest network, Woodward Sports.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Hey, now is the best time to
When
join
is it?
Planet
When's
Fitness.
the best
Right
time?
now,
Oh,
Ryan.
my
Right
God.
now.
Only
is the
$10?
best time. So, because Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where
No
you can
judge.
work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym has always been known for being clean, is now cleaner than ever. With tons of equipment, a full-body workout in a 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. But the best part about all this, you get it all just for $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, guys, only $10. Join Planet Fitness in club today, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
.com. Here we go. Little NBA. Tom Mazawey, congratulations to giving our viewers the easiest win in
got
the
the
history
money.
of
I
gambling
said-
last day. You should have given Jamo the bet.
I said take the Bucks and then take all that money and roll it on the Warriors. I think that's a pretty good
So
daily
you
double.
turned 100 into
over 300.
Good for you.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good day's work.
That definitely is better than me. Man, let me ask you this question about watching Steph Curry play at the Chase Center. Does it seem special to you? And what I ask is, it's kind of like watching Jordan at the United Center. Or it's kind of like watching Kobe and Shaq at Staples. Like when you watch Steph at the Chase, it just looks special. It just looks amazing. Like his shot selection, like the fans get into it. Like it's almost like we're watching something iconic. And I'm be honest, I'm gonna miss watching games when Steph no longer plays at Chase, because from their start to Oracle to then when they bring in KD, and it was like it's always magical watching like a Warriors game. They got different energy.
When they go on a run,
it's great.
and then he crosses midcourt.
Here it comes. Shoot it.
Yeah, he's shooting it.
And it goes in.
And it goes in.
They're special at home.
He just
man.
caps. He caps the runs. When he does it, it's
no
over.
cap. No cap. No
It's
cap.
over. If he's hitting those shots, you're not winning.
No cap.
You're not beating him.
See, there you go.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
all I got.
That's really nice.
He's my favorite player of all time.
You said that
easily.
And it's special. Like I'm telling you, like I didn't get this feeling watching anything else. Well, from being a Detroit guy, Pistons playing at the Palace, obviously when you turn on the playoffs, is magic. But outside of that, man, I'm telling you, Bulls United, I say Shaq and Kobe, Staples, and I say the Warriors with Steph at Chase and Oracle. Maybe I throw Sacramento Kings. They're special.
You gotta throw them a
not the
crumb.
new Kings. I'm talking about the Chris Webber and Vlade Divac.
This
Kings.
might be pretty dumb right now to even say this in the middle of the first
Say
round.
it.
But
Say
is
it.
Who is your NBA Finals right now?
Oh man, it's easy. The Bucks and Golden State.
Golden State.
Golden State.
Okay. I thought you said the Kings were going to win that series.
Yeah, but they probably will. But I think that's the only team. That's the only surefire bet I can make if that makes sense. Because if Sacramento wins, I don't know if Sacramento's going all the way. I don't know. I don't trust the Suns.
Right.
Like
Suns
I don't
win
trust
last
the Suns.
night, 45 from Devin Booker.
Yeah, but at the same time, look at what they did. They only won by 3. With the Clippers didn't even have Kawhi.
Right.
And they're that good. That's what bothers me about the Suns. I don't know if I'm going to trust Jokic and the Nuggets.
Denver.
So I'm telling you, if Golden State get past Sacramento, it'll be Golden State in the Bucks.
Denver leads 2-0.
KD has hardly played with him, so he's just rounding into shape.
True, but I want them to look better because you're talking about a team that doesn't have Paul George, and last night Paul George nor Kawhi Leonard played. And they still only lost by 3 with Yahoo as your starting point guard. And by the way, Yahoo is Russell Westbrook.
Hey, just a couple of things in the NBA. Tonight at the Garden, Maz, I know you'll be watching 8:30 Knicks and Cavs. Series tied at 1. Victor Wembanyama did officially declare for the NBA draft today.
3 o'clock,
so he is in. And Nick Nurse fired as head coach of the Toronto Raptors.
What do you mean fired?
Are you going back to the well on on a Toronto Raptors fired coach to be your coach for the Pistons?
I like him.
I don't. I want no part of anybody for the Toronto Raptors again right now.
I like Nick Nurse. I like what he did, but 2 things, and this came from Stephen A. Smith said this. I can't steal it. It's Stephen A. Smith. He said, 1, with Nick Nurse, you give him credit for the championship, correct? He won the championship. Well, they fired Dwayne Casey that year. LeBron James leaves the Cavs, so he's no longer in the East anyway, and then those guys get hurt. Dwayne Casey could have won that championship that particular year, but with Nick Nurse, the fact that the Raptors are moving off of him, don't pick him up because that means that he's not the person to take them into the future. We're looking for somebody to take us into the future, so it won't be Nick Nurse, the guy the Raptors just got rid of.
Why don't you go steal Eric Spoelstra from the Heat?
There you go.
Hey, Maz, your Maple Leafs, boy.
I was so excited for them.
They flipped the script last night in a big way.
30 seconds into the game, I'm bowling, I'm watching. Boom. Goal. Austin Matthews. Boom. Tavares. 7-2 before you know it. And so Toronto back in that game, back in that series, tied with Tampa at 1. The Rangers look like they're that much better.
Oh,
the Rangers are better than the Devils. Devils do not have goaltending. So
Who picked the Rangers?
Looks like the Rangers are going to take that one. What else we got? The Avalanche beat the Seattle
picked up
Kraken. Vegas evens up on the Jets tonight. You got Carolina and the Islanders. Carolina at home. No, they're going to the island. They're up 2-0. Boston's in Florida. That game is tied at 1. And Dallas, Minnesota at 1-1. Edmonton, LA, which is a real good series. That's a 1-1 series as well.
I'm all in on Edmonton and Toronto this postseason.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
I like that. Edmonton, Toronto.
Tigers, Orioles tonight.
They don't have any help, man. Like Connor McDavid hasn't had help. Like he and there's a couple players getting them to the finals last year. They got to the conference finals.
They need goaltending too.
They need goaltending, and they need another player that can score points. Just like not like he can, because no one can, but they need another scorer.
Gang, hell of a day. Thanks to all of you for watching. Hey, if you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button. Let's get to over 300 likes. That would be awesome if we could do that in the next minute or so. So if you wouldn't mind, hit the like button. We appreciate it. Big day, Braylon Edwards. Have a great weekend. Get us out of here, my friend.
Big day for the guy in the booth, yo. We really appreciate you, Gentry, coming in.
Gentry, great job, man.
35th hour, appreciate you. JB, good to have you back. Wearing all the dispo stuff
JB's
that I didn't get, but that's cool. Yo, we appreciate the chat. Today was a good day.
Hey, whatever happened to your package, Braylon?
I didn't get one. Oh, Justin.
Justin stole your package?
If Justin's out there watching, Justin works at Woodward Sports. Justin was supposed to bring in the package. Yep. He took the package home. He didn't come in today.
You believe that?
He's having a 421.
Everybody was getting all high at Dispo.
You don't need a package. You got Max.
Everybody was getting all high at Dispo.
Man, you don't get high on your own supply, man.
Man, come on now.
You don't get high on your own supply. Anyway, we appreciate you guys out there. Open up the line.
Over 300. Thank you very much.
Are you getting us out of here? Am I getting us out of here?
No, sorry. I was just thanking the chat. It got us over 300.
Well, thank the chat again.
Thank the chat.
We'll see you guys Monday. We're out.